Yeah, that's quite the skin. Hey everybody, I wanted to put two quick pieces of information right at the start of this guide. Number one, this video is going to be really long because essentially I divided it into two parts. The first part is a traditional guide where I give a very clear breakdown of exactly how Lyra, this hero, works. The second part is a full Guild Boss 2 showcase, and we put up a very high score. Currently number 16 in the world for Hawkus. Probably won't last that by the end of the week, but certainly, nearly 300K. It's a very mighty score, so just that takes a long time. You can totally just not watch the showcase or skip around, but I do want to include it in full. The second thing I want to say is there is a giveaway in this video. Look out for that somewhere in the middle, maybe between the hero guide portion and the hero showcase portion. Essentially, you need to have Lyra to participate in the giveaway, but the winner of the giveaway, I will do a free takeover showcase on their account live on stream using Lyra and showing how I can use her to improve your account. More on that later. How the heck are you guys? I am Fastidious. Welcome to my channel and welcome to an official guide on the newest hero as of filming this video on December 24th, Christmas Eve 2024. That hero being Lyra. And yeah, kind of a joke at the beginning, but holy crap, this skin is something else. It's definitely for a certain kind of person. In this video, we're going to do a full guide on Lyra. She is a phenomenal hero. I pulled so many times trying to get her. Did I get her? I don't know, but let's just say I'm on Hawkus's account right now. Thank you, Hawkus, not on my own. Part of the reason I'm on this account is because this guide will be divided into two parts. The first part of the guide is your standard thing, a deep dive into all the intricacies of her kit, which I will say at this point I have a very strong handle on, explaining the talent, the ultimate, her skill, both of her passives. We'll break down the awakenings if you were lucky enough to snag some of these. They are very powerful. We will discuss gearing. She is an excellent candidate for both Soulbound Arcana and Cataclysm, a very poor candidate, which I will explain, for Infernal Roar. We will also talk about artifacts, all that standard stuff. The second half of this video, and thank you, Hawkus, for lending the perfect account for this, is going to be a Guild Boss 2 showcase. She is particularly well-equipped, pun intended, well-equipped for Guild Boss 2 is what I was saying. Because she's got a magic resistance reduction, aka a magic defense break, which really makes it easy to wallop Semra with huge amounts of damage. It really can't be overstated. The huge numbers you'll see in this showcase from Soul Cadence, Praetus, and Lord Phineas are so much due to the magic res reduction of Lyra. That debuff is completely cracked. She is the best one in the game. Permanent uptime in boss fights. It is unbelievable. Combine that with her being just the third hero in the game that can do a buff dispel. She is really powerful. She's a really good hero. She's really cool, and she's got very unique faction membership. She's the first hero in the game to be dual faction Esoteria Order and Infernal Blast. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with Lyra in this video, and the whole time, obviously, she'll be donning her new holiday skin, so you can look forward to that as well. Let's get into it. A full deep dive guide on Lyra.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
All right, guys, first things first, let's talk about who we're dealing with here. As I said, she is dual faction, Infernal Blast, and Esoteria Order. With the current meta in the game and the content she'd be good in, she's very often going to be used, I believe, she will be used as an Infernal unit over an Esotericist. That's because Esoteria Order is really geared towards a lot of AoE stuff, and she's strictly a single target mage. That being said, her single target burst is phenomenal. She is a summoner, which synergizes well with a lot of things going on in the Esoteria Order, especially if you want to run her with someone like Honora. That being said, for most content, she's a bursty single target. That's the definition of Infernal Blast, and that is where you will see her showcased today. You'll also see her showcased in the skin. All right, let's move on. Let's go to the base stats. This is a great place to start. Very solid base stats. Almost 11k HP is quite solid for a mage. Her attack for a magic DPS is spot on what you would want, what you'd expect. This is almost exactly the same as Comet, coming in at 4683. Let me show you that right now. Comet obviously is very unique because even though he is coded as a single target mage, he is very much also an AoE mage. But you can see a very strong comp there in terms of flat attack base stat, right? Comet has 46.33, and then Lyra comes in at 46.83, just 50 points higher. So very, very comparable. Let's continue down through the stats. That's the real crux of it. You really just want to know that attack. Defense is low, but also standard. Magic res is very high, but doesn't matter too much. Very typical for a single target mage. Legendary, she has 19 cost. Redeployment time, the standard 60. Attack interval, you see it at 1.6 here, but actually if we go to gearing, probably a cleaner way to show you this, she is the standard 2.6, like every other single target mage I can think of in the game, basically, besides Soul Cadens, but he is very unique, as we know. And aside from that, it's really standard stuff. Rage Regen Auto at 14 on the slightly high end of normal. Rage Regen Basic Attack at 10, insanely normal. That is going to be, or those are going to be Lyra's base stats. Let's get right into the kit because there's a lot to discuss. I will say, shout out to Moonton. A lot of these new Christmas heroes, yeah, they've got complicated talents and stuff, but mamma mia, a one-sentence ultimate? That is my Christmas gift. Keeping it nice and simple. Actually, a lot of these things are pretty simple. Simple, basic. This looks more complicated than it is. Pretty simple passive and pretty simple second passive. I will say the talent we really have to break down. As is the case with many talents in this game, it looks like one thing, one paragraph. However, these two sentences are two separate talents. So there's two components to her talent that are not interrelated. They're just two things, and they're both great. So a key thing with Lyra is going to be the fact that she is a summoner. The thing she summons is called a Cosmic Rift. Cosmic Rift, she has a 40% chance to summon them on all of her basic attacks. So with 2.6 base attack interval, you can get her going really fast. Between like 1.3 seconds and 1.6 seconds is very realistic. She's going to keep very good uptime on these Cosmic Rifts because once she summons them, they do last for 15 seconds. That time can increase to 23 seconds, as you will see when we go through Awakenings. For the lucky ones of you that did pull her A1, first off, I'm jealous. But also, yes, you'll get an extra 8 seconds on that, so that's going to make the uptime even better. But even at A0, it is very good. Now, what do those Cosmic Rifts do? They are summoned nearby. She can maintain 2 at a time, and when they are there, they will mimic her attacks, all of her attacks. Now, what do those mimicked attacks look like? Well, you can see she can mimic everything. Her basic attack, her ultimate, and then it says Focus Fire attacks launched by Twin Fiend and Pyros. Soul Cadens does Pyro Blitz. He does not do Focus Fire, so it's not the same kind of contribution, so they did not list him here. It is hard to know from testing if she still contributes to Pyro Blitz. I would assume the answer is no, because otherwise they would have listed it here. Certainly she does contribute to Focus Fire. So let's start there. What does it mean to contribute to Focus Fire? If you've ever used Pyros or Twin Fiend or even Soul Cadens, when they ult, you can't attack with your other infernal units on the field. They get locked out. Essentially, your units are attacking, but those attacks are being transferred to the Lord, Pyros, Twin Fiend, or Soul Cadens. In this example, because it's Focus Fire, it's Pyros or Twin Fiend, and those attacks channeled there power up into the Lord and then are channeled together in one big blast. But the damage still goes to Lyra or Zealot or Hex or whomever you are using, right? It's complicated. Just trust me on it, okay? So basically, her Cosmic Shifts can mirror the contribution to Focus Fire. When it comes to the basic attack, ultimate, and Focus Fire mimicked attacks, they are not all at 100% the damage Lyra herself is doing. So you can see, actually, the mimicked basic attacks and Focus Fire attacks have their damage halved. So if they would have dealt 50k damage, now they deal 25k damage. Or if they would have contributed 50k damage to Twin Fiend or Pyros, now it's 25k. However, very importantly, they did not say the ultimate damage is halved, and that's because it isn't. And that makes her ultimate, maybe, aside from like Soul Cadens, the biggest mage burst we have in the game. So that's how it works. As I said, 40% chance to summon those Cosmic Rifts every time she does a basic attack. When she does summon them, they last for 15 seconds. So you really want to keep an eye on if they're both up, because you're going to see with her kit, it's really good if they're both up, dealing more damage and also synergies with her passives. Two can exist at the same time, and now a wholly separate talent, and the best part of her kit, in my opinion, this is why I wanted her so desperately, basic attacks also inflict magic res reduction. This ties Ajax for the biggest magic res reduction in the game, and unlike Ajax, it is 100% uptime. Ajax is 100% uptime if heroes are adjacent to him within 2 tiles, which is a lot of heroes, However, with Lyra over here, especially because you're using her mostly for single target and boss content, all of her basic attacks place it. It lasts for 8 seconds. It is 100% uptime. The only time she is not doing basic attacks is during her ultimate, which only lasts for 3 seconds. So even with no attack speed on her, which you shouldn't do, but even if you did no attack speed on her, she just cooks. The girl cooks. This is crazy. Your Praetus against Semra is now melting even harder when he's not doing the true damage. True damage isn't affected by this. But like your Soul Cadence, even harder. Your Hex, even harder. Your Zealot, so on and so on. That is crazy. It's essentially a defense break for your magic damage. It is phenomenal. This is so underrated. I do not hear enough people talking about this. This is the strongest part of her kit. If you like a hero like Torador or Ares, they do a 20% defense break against Semra and everybody they deal constant damage to. This is 50% stronger, from 20% to 30%, a 10% increase, and it's 100% uptime, just like those guys. This is phenomenal. The only hero that has a break like this in the game, besides Iax, which is with his very unique passive, is going to be Estrid. However, hers is not 100% uptime. Hers is a defense break, not a magic res break. This is amazing. I hope I've made my point. Let's start with the basic, because it's very basic. She deals 120% damage to one enemy. Everything we talk about in this video is going to be full skill ups. However, she actually, if you have 2 Cosmic Rifts summoned, is dealing 240% damage to one enemy, because both those Cosmic Rifts will also mimic her basic attacks along with her with halved damage. So every basic attack, if she has 2 Cosmic Rifts up, is going to be 240% damage. If there's just one Cosmic Rift for a brief moment, it'll be 180% damage. Very, very strong. The ultimate is phenomenal. Remember, when the Cosmic Rifts are up, they fully mimic this damage. There is no halving. There's no 50% penalty. At max skill ups, it is 700 skill cost, nice initial cost of 400. It takes 3 seconds for the animation, and she can go right back to basic attacking, building rage, getting ready to ult again. And when she does this, she deals 700% damage. However, remember, the Cosmic Rifts fully mimic the damage, so if there are 2, it's 700 from her, 700 from Rift 1, 700 from Rift 2. That is 2100% damage total on a very low skill cost. It is a phenomenal, phenomenal burst. Keep in mind that burst is magic damage and will be penetrating 30%, since against any single target thing or boss thing, she's keeping 100% uptime on that magic res reduction. I think now we're really starting to see why this is so strong. If we go to the first passive now, when the ultimate meteor hits, that is her ultimate over here, Starfall Strike, when that meteor crashes in, if at least one Cosmic Rift exists, it increases her attack by 25%. That is a post-deployment increase. So this is why I'm saying keep an eye on the existence of the Cosmic Rifts. They're pretty easy to see. You can see here she's going to start attacking. Now one just appeared above her shoulder. Let's wait again. I'm looking at the little animation above my head. There, another one just appeared. There are these 2 orbs that float above her shoulders. So if one is present at least, she will get a 25% attack boost, and it lasts 10 seconds. So she ults a lot. So she has a pretty good uptime on that crazy attack boost. If 2 are there, she will also fully dispel a buff from the target. She joins Kagiri and Lucius as the only other buff dispeller in the game. She is the first mage that can do it. She's only the second platformer after Lucius that can do it. She is the first non-nightmare or watcher that can do it. This is fantastic. It's a fantastic skill. It's lovely. It opens up a lot of other comps in Guild Boss 2, because everybody right now, you're going to need Lucius or Kagiri. I mean, which isn't a bad thing. Those are 2 awesome heroes. But if you don't have them, or you don't want to use them because you want to run Infernal, you want to run Esotericist for some reason, this opens that up because you have a new Dispeller. This is pretty darn frequent. You can time it out really easily. She ults a lot. The second passive, this is really, really amazing against bosses, or when she's just focusing on one target for a while, Celestial Confluence. After the hero and Cosmic Rift deal damage to the same enemy 15 times, it increases the hero's damage by 15%. Stacking up to 3 times. Keep in mind that's every instance of damage individually dealt by her and the rifts. So if 2 rifts are up, every basic attack is going to be 3 instances of damage. So it only takes her doing 5 basic attacks, or if you have her at that 1.6 second interval, that is going to come out to 8 seconds. In just 8 seconds, she'd already have the full stack and get a 15% damage boost. You can stack this up to 3 times. So against a boss at the 1.6 second interval you see here, in just 24 seconds, assuming you maintain 2 rifts the whole time, realistically it'd be like 26 to 32 seconds, depending on how those rifts are coming out with the summoning RNG. You will be at max stacks on this, 3 stacks of 15% damage boost. up to 45%. It will disappear when she switches targets, but obviously if she's focused on one enemy, or certainly if there's only one boss to hit, she will never switch targets. It's a beautiful kit. I love it. She'd be a great addition to my roster. You'll have to wait till later in the week to see if I got her. I hope I did. We'll find out. Let's go now to the Awakenings. The A1 we already touched on. When she uses Starfall Strike, she extends the duration of all Cosmic Rifts by 8 seconds. So as I said, you should always use her ultimate Starfall Strike when you can see the 2 rifts present above her shoulders. As long as you do that, after the second this move goes, it will increase their duration by 8 seconds, effectively making their full duration not 15 seconds, but 23. Her A2 brings her attack up 300, so from 4583, I believe it was, now to 4883, nearly 4900 attack. Very good. The A3 is when things start getting really crazy. I'll tell you, the A3 and the A5 are insane. If we look at the A3, when Celestial Confluence, the passive we just discussed, reaches full stacks, the damage dealt by Cosmic Rift's mimicked basic attacks is now 100% of the hero's basic attack damage. So when she, as long as she's not switching targets, once she's dealt 45 instances of damage between her and the rifts, just total unique instances of damage, she's not just going to have a 45% boost in damage until she switches targets, which she never will against the boss. She also will now have her mimicked attacks by the rifts be 100% of the damage, so no more 50% penalty. So if we go back to that basic attack over here, you can see she does 120% damage. If there are 2 rifts present, each one of those also do 120% damage, so 120, 120, 120. That's 360% damage on every freaking basic, all while shredding through the magic resistance. She's a maniac. Total maniac. Such amazing debuff potential and really great DPS by herself. I absolutely love this A3. Now the A4, if we look over here, 8% penetration. So effectively, if she's just hitting one target or a boss, there's always 30% penetration for magic damage dealers like her. They're always ignoring 30% of the magic resistance because of her debuffs from the talent. This makes it so she's ignoring 38. This stuff actually is additive, not multiplicative, which is stronger. And then finally, the A5, her ultimate now ignores 70% of magic resistance. It also reduces whatever rage regen percentage you build on her by 15%. Effectively, you can think of this as such. If we go to the Pantheon over here, let's check out Hawkus's Pantheon, you can see you get a 40% rage regen contribution when you've maxed out the easiest yellow currency. This is what you get from the Esotericis trials and, of course, the basic trials. So that 40% now becomes 25% for her. So you're starting with a base of 25%. It's not like you're dipping under 0 or something. You won't go to the negatives. And then whatever else you build onto her in terms of rage regen percentage, which you probably should do. It's really nice for cycling on her. That will stack upon 25% instead of 40%, as would be the case for any other hero that doesn't have such a penalty in this game. So you take a little penalty, however, that's Soul Cadence. You take a little penalty, however, you do that very willingly because it comes with the fact that every time she ults, she's ignoring 70% of magic resistance. Remember, her talent is already doing a 30% decrease. This makes up the other 70%. She is now ignoring every ultimate 100% of the target's magic defenses, of their magic resistance. It is fully reduced to 0. This is the same effect as Silas's soul sniping during his ultimate. Outside of his ultimate, Silas ignores 50% of defense, but during his ultimate, Silas is ignoring 100% of the defense and also magic res. Not that that matters too much because he's dealing physical piercing damage, but the key thing is the reason Silas is so crazy is because he's ignoring all the defense as though it was true damage like Praetus or something or Nocturne, but because it's not technically true damage, he can also crit. So he fully ignores the defense, dealing pure damage, and he can crit on that damage. Lyra can do the same thing at A5. It obviously takes a lot. You got to get her A5. But at A5 now, this ultimate is the biggest burst you could imagine. It is phenomenal. So there you go. I think that's a pretty clean and concise breakdown of her talent, of her skills, of her awakenings. Let's talk about gearing. It's going to depend on the content, how much you're going to want to lean into attack bonus versus crit damage on the main stats for the right side. You can see here we're going triple attack bonus. That's a great, safe thing to do for Semra, which is where we're going to showcase her. However, she's also phenomenal in Guild Boss 1, right? She's good against all the guild bosses and good in just a lot of boss content as you progress through the game. For stuff like Guild Boss 1, you can totally build her with double, and even if you have good enough gear, triple crit damage on the right, because that guild boss, the Drake, has such low magic resistance and defense. Once you put that break on, it really isn't something you have to deal with. Her attack is going to be higher. Just lean all the way into crit damage. Very, very strong. With Semra, let's just go triple attack. Really nice. We do want to keep an eye on a decent amount of attack. The more we attack, the more we're going to have opportunities to summon the cosmic rifts when they fall off. So the faster we are, the more basic attacks we do, the more consistently we're summoning those cosmic rifts. And also that's how we're going to build our rage based off basic attacks, so we can do this ultimate as quickly as possible. So I would say top priority obviously is attack bonus for the content we're going to do. But in general, attack is king in this game. Then make sure she's crit capped, grab your crit damage, and then certainly you want her pretty darn fast, and you want a little bit of a rage regen. I'm probably going to touch this build up actually in a second once I finish before we go into our showcase, but more on that in a second. If you look on the left here, you can see for the weapon, we're going just attack bonus and crit, huge amounts, but no attack speed. Ideally, you'd like to see attack speed here. And then finally on the chest, unfortunately, no crit damage here, but we are leaning into some HP to make sure she doesn't die. So certainly that is why Hawkus chose to build her in this way. He's really treating her more as an enabler of her Infernal team. So we're not going to see huge damage, but we're going to see her enable huge damage by not dying and maintaining incredible, essentially permanent uptime until she dies in the battle on that 30% magic res reduction we're going to keep on Semra. Another thing I want to mention, a good reason to have attack speed and rage regen, you want her ulting with the 2 rifts to make sure she gets the dispel. It's a very, very nice thing. But all in all, very good build. For almost every single piece of content, you're going to want her in Tear of Twilight, unless you're strictly using her as kind of a support spammer unit, in which case you could use the legendary artifact, the Nightmare Samsara. All right, I'm going to take a peek at this build, see if I can change anything. I am realizing why he leans so heavily into HP. I do think this is slightly overkill, though. Let me see what I can do. All right, I'm going to make 2 tweaks to the gear, actually putting on some Wicked Vengeance gear I found on this account. So we have an amazing piece over here I actually just leveled. If we sort by attack bonus, HP bonus, crit rate, and attack speed, you'll see that over here. This piece is excellent, tons of attack, nice HP, nice crit rate. See, the HP drops about 2k, but we can totally live with that. That's because we're losing the flat HP. Let's throw that on. And then we have a nice chest piece over here. We'll lose a little bit more, but it will still be worth it because finishing the Wicked Vengeance set's going to give us a lot of crit damage. Her attack was borderline overkill. We're losing a chunk of attack bonus here without a doubt, but it's pretty fine. It looks like we're gaining it. That's because of the 10% set bonus, but between the 2 pieces, we're losing it. But we're getting so much crit damage, and we're still staying crit capped. It's really nice. So we'll throw that on, and you can see she's at a much, I think, more solid 29.7k HP. That's really great. I thought the 32 was a bit overkill. The attack is still almost 19k. Remember, with that magic res reduction, it is plenty. She'll be led by a legendary lord, tons of attack. She is also faster now at 346 attack speed with the attack interval down from 1.6 seconds to 1.5. And then finally, the biggest thing, that crit damage is up at 306.5, as opposed to being in that 230% to 240% range it was before. The big tragedy of the build is there's no rage regen percentage, but she's fast enough. We'll get her going. There was no rage regen before. It's not the perfect build, but it's certainly good. Let's now take a peek at the rest of the team, and let's head into battle. All right, folks, so here is the rest of the team. I'm already going to pick myself up, make myself small for when we head into battle. We are running an Arbiter comp with just 3 Arbiter units, and then a hefty full 5-unit Infernal comp. It's a pretty unique comp, but it's really strong if you have the heroes to do it. It's actually run by 2 of my guildmates who are both 2 of my moderators, Viceroy and Hawkus. They both love Soul Cadence, have A3 Soul Cadence, and love Praetus. So you end up doing this weird thing where you're using Aurum as a tank, who's totally good for this, tons of burns, and he's tanky enough, like most tanks are if you have good gear. And then we're using Nazim, of all people. I mean, he's a great choice, but for a really, really good comp, as you're going to see here with a really high score, Nazim is certainly an interesting option. Nazim is nice because he's pretty easy to build tanky once you have the gear, and you can put him in Invig set. The other one I want to highlight is Aurum is in a morale set, so that's going to help the whole team with a 4% damage boost for everybody. Because Aurum is in a morale set and not an Invig set, we are 1 Invig set short for our DPS, so unfortunately we're going to leave one off Alistair, which is actually kind of unfortunate because this is an A1 Alistair that can really deal damage. However, most of his damage is going to come from Radiant Erosion, which is not contingent upon his attack, thus the Invig doesn't help that much. It is contingent upon the target's defense. That's how Radiant Erosion works. So you'll see our Invig heroes are Constance, who is built as an inspiration hero, not as a tank. Very, very nice, super high attack over here. For the artifact, we have a maxed out Astral Obelisk. We obviously have a great Praetus here. Another Invig hero we've got is Elowen. She will do a great job as she is the queen of Semra. We've got Nazim, as I said, and finally we've got Fasti. I want to take a moment. A lot of people don't fully understand. A lot of people do, but a lot of people don't fully understand why Fasti's so phenomenal. That's because they have not maxed out his passive. This passive starts out very lackluster as just a 5% AoE damage reduction, damage mitigation for all the allies in range. It's a great range, but 5% is lame. However, with the skill ups, you quintuple that 5% up to 25%, mitigating another 20% of the incoming damage. It is completely and utterly game-changing. There's a reason Fasti's on every single top Semra team in the realm, full stop. So make sure you have that skilled up. Aside from that, A3 Soul Cadence is going to pop off. A3 Phineas is a monster. A4 Praetus, this is a nasty comp. The main thing you're going to see, Lyra's going to do a great job. I'm going to focus on showing how to take a good advantage of the dispels. And then you're just going to see constantly, I'll probably shout it out all the time, that magic resurrection, that 30% break is never going to fall off. The main thing to look out for, this is all magic damage here besides the true damage from Radiant Erosion and the true damage from everything Praetus is doing besides his normal attacks and his little bursts, all of his Lord skill and all of his Radiant Erosion. Everything else is magic damage, so you can really key in on how quickly we're tearing through the start of this battle. I am going to show this battle in full. It is going to take at least 15 to 20 minutes, so be patient or feel free to skip around. I really don't mind either way. Giveaway! To participate in the giveaway, you got to do two things. Comment in the comment section of this video which hero you think next should get the Lyra skin treatment, whatever we want to call this. Should it be a nice, beautiful hero like Morgan, or should it be a funky beast like Gluttony? You let me know in the comments. You can take it serious or be pretty funny. And the second thing you need to do is be in attendance during my Christmas Day stream tomorrow. It's going to be about 14 hours after this video goes live. That is when we're doing the giveaway, so you got to be there to claim your prize. Back to the video. The showcase portion begins now. So let's do our placements and let's do our Invig placements and landings properly. I'm going to put Lyra down here, which is really nice because we can make sure that she is easy for us to see the whole battle. We'll put her on this square. Then we can put Fasti over there, so he's placing Invigoration on Lyra. Next up, we can get Pope. We can get Praetus there, and we can get Nazim behind him. Nazim is an Invig, so now Praetus has his Invig buff, as you can see. Following that, we're going to get Phineas right here with Constance right behind him. And then for our last Invig, we're going to get Soul Cadence over here in this corner with Eloin over here, pointed this way. So you can see with Eloin, a key thing, Lyra is going to be out of range. That's why we wanted a little bit of extra tankiness on her, but we're really hoping Fasti is going to do a phenomenal job. The other option would be to point Eloin down. However, if we were to do that, it'd be kind of tough because Aurum and Alistair would be missing out as opposed to just Lyra. Keep in mind, she'll still be covered by Eloin when she ults. We do need this summon over here to disappear, so I can place Aurum there. Let's wait 1 second. Let's wait. Please don't slam and kill us all. There we go, get it placed. That should be good. Cool, the rock falls on Aurum. Amazing. So we're off to the races, guys. You can see we've got Invig placed on Lyra, on Phineas, on Soul Cadence, and on Praetus. Let's begin the battle. I'm going to go through this assuming most people understand the mechanics of Semra. If you don't, I have a great beginner's guide. And if you want some really advanced stuff, you can watch my full commentary on the top Semra score in the world back when I filmed it, Bibu. So without further ado, let's get after it. We're going to absolutely melt the start of this battle. I'm going to try to get him a really high score, so we're not going to use too many ults at the beginning here because it doesn't really matter. One thing with this comp, Nazim, just don't ever forget about the stuns. Sure, you can use Praetus for some help, but it's pretty mindless. That's why we're bringing Nazim. It totally negates the stage. For the next round, the Aegis, we really need to be thoughtful with Lyra and only ult when she has the 2 rifts above her shoulder. So you see, actually, as I was talking, one of them disappeared. Make sure you're really cognizant of that. In the final stage, we need to be really thoughtful about our Eloin cleansing. The last thing I want to say before we're off into the battle, I know I keep saying that, a cool thing with this comp is it leaves the open square here, so you get a lot of extra bonus healing from the Wood Elf whenever you need it. So that's another way to ensure Lyra and Alistair and Aurum, Constance, Eloin, and Soul Cadence are really taken care of. It's a great thing. So let's begin. You can see 12 full reductions. Nazim makes this really easy. I'm saving all my big DPS because we really want to get to start since we want to get him a big score. We want to get some nice stuff in the in-between stages when those big vulnerabilities pop up. I want to key in on this symbol here, guys. This is the shield with the half red, half light red or orange, whatever. That's the magic symbol, and then the down means magic res down. This is going to be on the entire battle. You will never see it fall off. 30% break, it will be on the whole flipping battle. All right, let's begin. Ult with our infernals right now. Where freaking is Aurum? There we go. Let's get Lyra going. Let's go this. Now let's quickly get Constance and just down the line here. Phenomenal. Let's use our Praetus button. Amazing. Really nice. So when you get your in-between, the typical thing I like to say is you want to look for like 4,500 to 5K. That's how you know you've got a good run. We put up almost 7K. So this is a really kind of sterling comp we've got going here. We don't have to worry too much about the strips right now because we've got so much damage for this early portion, but I still will show you how to use them. So right now you can see Lyra can ult, but she only has one rift. You got to wait till that other one pops up. Now we'll go, and then she should strip off. And look, you saw that shield icon strip off. This beginning part of the fight, we're completely overpowered, so it doesn't matter too much. Just wait. Like I said, feel free to skip around at your leisure. Okay, let's go with our Infernals first. Alistair's always on delay. We can go Praetus. Now let's get Soul Cadens revved up. Constance comes. Slight delay on Constance for some reason there, so she didn't line up with Lyra. So we're going to miss out on a couple hundred damage. I think we'll live. Tons of damage, though. We're already breaking 13K. Now this is how you time out Eloin. We'll go to guide mode for a second. Wait till the acid venom bars are out to go down. Now you can click on Eloin. Once this reaches like the peak, you can already trigger. That's a nice way to stay ahead of it. Buys yourself a couple percentage points for the next time around. Very nice. Absolutely shredding through this, though. Let's try to get all the DPS perfect on this next in-between. Now, this is the great way to use, if you run this comp and you have this big open square in the middle, this is the great way to use the Wood Elf. Drop it right in between, right as they go to place the second Acid Venom, the one when Eloin isn't ready. So you can see she's halfway done. Let's ult. Gotta wait for Aurum. Perfect. Now let's get Soulkins. Aurum is locked out. I don't know how. No, he's not. Perfect. Okay, great. Huge damage. We're going to be close to 20K here. Really nice. Yeah, look at that. 20K before he stands back up. So just from our first rotation, we're at 20K. And remember, this number is going to go up every time because the amount of damage he takes in every in-between increases every time. Or rather, I should say the amount of damage you need to deal to eliminate the 100% on his health bar for each phase is more. So you're getting more each full rotation. Great. Let's get our cleanse out with Eloin already. Again, the DPS doesn't matter too much to progress through. We want to save most of it for the end. You get an early Praetus trigger there. Why not? Early Lyra trigger. Why not? Really just waiting for Nazim here. It always comes between 237 and 236. So that's a good thing if you want to know to stay ahead of your Nazim if he's a little tight. Maybe your Helga. You can see we don't really need to use ults here. We got plenty damage. We'll get another Soul Cadence just to speed this up a bit. And then we'll wait for the rest. Look how much Soul Cadence just did. That guy's a freak. Let's queue this up. I actually did Soul Cadence too late. I didn't realize he would do that much damage. So we can trigger through everything else already. Hopefully he comes up soon enough. Looks like we'll just miss the in-between, unfortunately. But we'll get a big burst at the start of the next. Yeah, watch this big burst at the beginning. Skadoosh. Incredible. We'll really save everything for the end now. Like I said, it's going to be a slow run because we want to get a super high score. I told Tahakis I would save whatever we got for him. Hopefully we can set a new record. TBD on that. So I'm going to try to be really thoughtful, especially on these beginning stages. Taking advantage of those in-betweens, that's an extra couple thousand to your record at the end, so that's pretty nice. Let's get Pharisee here. Excellent. All right, let's queue this up. Trigger. Soul Cadence. Boom. All right, that time was perfect. I guess we could trigger Nazim. His damage doesn't matter. Tons of damage there. Got 7,500 on the in-between. So again, wait for that arm to rise up from Eloin. As soon as it's there. Boom. Lovely. Get some quick triggers here. No, it's too much damage still. Yeah, this team's a little too overpowered for these early stages. Pretty endgame showcase for this kind of comp. Let's get a little bit of Praetus there. All right, we'll cruise to the end now. Dang, we're really so strong. Congratulations, Hawkes. This is nuts. See, I missed out on another bit of in-between damage there just because, like, I'm underestimating how much we're going to tear through these early phases. There's Lyra. Scoosh. Let's get a little cleanse with Elwyn. Might as well go with Soul Cannons right now. Yeah, still, we're completely tearing through this. Let's wait for Nazim. Perfect. If you want to see, like, a real showcase of all the mechanics, maybe skip ahead 5 or 7 minutes. Otherwise, I'm just going to try to min-max this score. All right, let's wait. I think the perfect timing here on these early stages when we don't have to worry about Aegis still, probably about 10% should be good. Go down the line. So then to make sure Soul Cadence Blast happens right when we want it. Lyra's a little too fast to line her ultimate up with Soul Cadence, I gotta say. So we really are gonna have to line that up side by side, but maybe it's not even a bad thing because it's TBD if she's even properly powering up into Soul Cadence Pyro Blitz. Oh, already over 50k, just on our halfway through our third rotation, less than halfway through. Let's try to show the Dispel effect again here, guys. She's got 2 rifts up. One's probably gonna fall off soon. They both fell off, so that's pretty cool. Now second one's up, so we know they're both gonna be fresh. There you go. Let's wait till that goes. Trigger her, and you'll see. Strips that thing right off. Amazing. Let's get some DPS. We actually have to start doing that now. That Praetus button is completely jank, completely broken. Throw this on 1x really fast, so maybe we can time this out perfect. Constance is way behind, unfortunately. Come on, Constance. So here we kind of want to. We don't want to strip off. We could, but we don't want to. We want to leave them up so we can get Constance going. All right, let's trigger. I hate all the delays on the ult casting. It really is like the bane of my existence. So I guess if you want to really get Lyra and Soul Cadence perfect, you got to go Soul Cadence right into Lyra. Time that out nicely in that little window. You have it until Soul Cadence is about 2 or 3 o'clock there. Should be a nice big blast. Coming up on 65k now. I think starting on this 4th rotation we're about to enter, it's going to be a lot better to actually properly use the mechanics and everything. Okay, let's wait for the element cleanse here. There we go. Might as well use Nazim, doesn't matter. You can see one thing with how quickly Lyra and Soul Cadence get their ult back around. It doesn't perfectly line up and synergize. And same thing with Praetus. Especially since he's A1 or higher, this Praetus is A4, doesn't perfectly line up with Constance. So probably you're going to ideally want to aim for a 2-to-1. We'll do that as we get later into this battle. That was a little early on the Wood Elf. Oh, looks like I didn't even place it, so it's fine. Okay, let's see. All right, let's go. Praetus, Alistair, Aurum. Nice. Now we can get the Wood Elf. That's perfect timing. As soon as he does laser mode, when he's about there, coming back towards you, that's when I do Pharisee. Great. So huge burst of damage. We actually were still so ahead on the damage, it didn't matter. We can get our cleanse. So we're definitely leaving little chunks of damage on the table, quite frankly, because I keep underestimating how strong this comp is. It just bursts so quickly. But it'll be more interesting later on. All right, let's 1x this. Ult. Get ready with Pharisee. Excuse me, get ready with Nazim. I'm getting my lizards confused. All right, Nazim. It's just a ton of damage. Now we'll just be able to wait for the end still. Let this run out. Maybe one more Soul Cadence. I think we can get away with it. Get a Wood Elf here, so we don't need to use Pharisee's ult. Nope, Soul Cadence is still just that guy. It's unbelievable. I mean, I don't have so much experience with Soul Cadence in Guild Boss 2. It's insane how stupidly strong he is. It's almost not fun. It's really trivializing this stuff. I can't showcase anything with Lyra because Soul Cadence is so broken. Already past 80k, guys. If you can't tell, this is an easy 120k team. I definitely want to get over 200, if not a nice chunk over 200. So it's going to get a lot sweatier really soon. Mechanics are going to start coming into play very, very shortly. Let's just already get Soul Cadence and Aurum there. But then I'm going with Pharisee. Let's go pray to someone already at 2. Excellent. Alistair can go whenever, because most of his damage is just coming from the Radiant Erosion uptime. Okay, we're going to wait for Soul Cadence here. We can go Phineas, Constance, Kratos, Soul Cadence, Lyra. You can see Lyra got the strip there. Personally, though, I'll be honest, I wasn't keeping an eye on the rifts, so clearly we had 10, which is nice. And still, we're tearing through. So if you don't know, basically you want to be at least have it 50% or lower, at most 50%, if not lower, at a minute 30. At 2 minutes flat, we're at 14.4. What a comp. This is just turning into a crazy Infernal Arbiter showcase. Soul Cadence did not go. I really hate the delayed ults. It's kind of the bane of my existence. Here comes the cleanse. Wood Elf down. So as he comes back, Pharisee, perfect. And I'm gonna wait a bit for Soul Cadence. We're just gonna wait for the end. It's crazy how easily we're tearing through this. Elwyn, oh, that's insane. That's insane. The delay ruined my run. I said Elwyn, I clicked Elwyn, and the delay ruined my run. That's BS. BS, I tell you. All right, I'll catch up to that point. That's BS. What's with the freaking ultimate quick cast delays? What is that? All right, here we go. We're back at the poison stage where I misclicked on Elwyn and it all went wrong. I will say, because I wasn't talking to you guys and making occasional mistakes, I really could focus on optimizing the damage, and I want to show you what that looks like. So we failed like halfway through the poison round last time, the one we're about to start, at 102k. We're already at about to be 111k starting that round, and that additional 9k or whatever of mech fragments is just because I was timing things out appropriately, because I could give it my undivided attention. I wasn't in guide mode. So I'll continue as that. This next rotation we actually should have to deal with the mechanics a ton. Incredible comp. Let's see how high we can push this. Let's wait. Let's be very smart with Elwyn. As soon as that thing's going up, before it comes down, we press cleanse. Going with Praetus there. Gotta wait for Constance. All right, perfect. Click our Praetus button, tons of damage. When this guy goes and comes across, we can place the Wood Elf, get ready with Pharisee. Tons of damage still, so we can wait. Comes back, we click, perfect. Get a little Praetus action, why not? Now here's where we messed up. We're not messing up this time, perfection, there we go. The timing's so annoying and the clicking's so annoying. I obviously was my fault, but I really did consciously think I clicked. You heard me narrating it. The fact that it's that fickle is pretty infuriating. Here we go. We're going to finish this stage up right now. little behind on the Wood Elf. Let's throw this on 1x. Get ready with our damage. Let's actually start triggering down the line. Now we can get our Wood Elf. Perfect. We won't even have to use Pharisee right now. Boom. Raise button at 3. Get ready for a cleanse. We've just passed 120k, but we've got our sights on bigger things. Let's go for a big burst here. We'll wait for Phineas. Okay, perfect. Saw there was a little glitch there with Constance and it locked me out of Phineas. Very annoying. It's okay though. None of that damage really counts. It's only the in-between that's going to be make or break until it's like we might not get enough DPS, but we're certainly not at that point right now. That should all carry us to the finish line. See how easily Nazim does this. He's super one-dimensional, obviously. Nazim's not doing anything else. He's less than 500,000 damage right now, but just for the stuns, he's about as nice as we could hope. We'll save everything for the in-between still. I'm that confident in how well we're going to deal with the Aegis. And this next Aegis, I'm really going to lean into Lyra as a stripper. That came out really wrong. I'm going to lean into her as a buff stripper, aka Dispeller. That's what I mean to say. Holy crap. Trigger, 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 trigger. Constance, doo-doo, doo-doo. Slightly early on the Praetus button. Hopefully, yeah, we got a couple hits still, though. Nice. Tons of damage coming up on 140. I'll tell you guys, the record on my account is like 180 something, and we're definitely going to blow through that. Obviously, as much rarer Ancient Lords here and super high awakening units, but Mamma Mia, very nice. So you can see she's got the 2 things up. I find the safest way to do this, as I was just doing it in the in-between as we caught back up, is the following. So she just lost 1. Now she just gained 1, but she's about to lose the other. Actually, not really. Let me just wait for what I'm trying to show you. Now they're both up. Now I'm going to do it. So now I can confidently be like, that other one has not been 15 seconds. The one on the left was brand spanking new. That's how you can confidently strip it. It's too bad. Like, imagine if there was like a number countdown in them. That would be incredible, but that's obviously asking a bit much. Definitely need some heals right now, though. You're getting shellacked. And I've been ignoring the damage too much, so let's go down the line. Definitely been ignoring the damage too much. I don't know why Soul Cadence didn't trigger. A lot of funkiness going on. Very glitchy game. Don't know why I play it. Wood Elf ready. Lyra, she's at 1 now. Now that's 2. Let's wait till they place another. There's 2. Now we'll strip. See? They pop right off. Perfection. All right, let's go Praetus, Soul Cadence, and Pharisee. Could have waited for Constance, but I didn't really want to. You can see we're still way ahead on the DPS, so we're never gonna... It's gonna be a long time before we have to worry too much about the Aegis stage, even here with 4 buffs, and we're on rotation 5. So we'll actually just wait this through for the end. We'll just use Lyra for strips when we need to. Let's use it now, actually. Just get one of them off. Great. Let's get the Wood Elf down. Awesome. That'll carry us to the end. Throw this on 1x. Perfect. So no Lyra, but we'll get everybody else in. Probably could have waited for the 3rd charge on the Praetus button, but didn't want to risk that. All right, let's focus on Elwyn. Up it comes. Perfect. Well, do we wait for Phineas? I think no. I think we don't wait for Phineas and Constance. They'll come back around. Trigger. Good. Okay, now we can go with Alistair, Constance, Nazim, Phineas. Get ready with the Wood Elf. Orem can always just wait for Soul Cadence. Oh, I wasted Pharisee. That's too bad. But we can tank it with the Wood Elf. That's good. All right, let's line it all up here. 1x. Trigger, 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 trigger. We need Pharisee quick. Is he not going to be ready? No, we're just not going to use him. We won't use the boost. It's fine. Here comes Elwyn. It's very tight. Very tight. So we're always going to have to be very bright and early on those Elwyn triggers because there's not so much healing in this comp, right? Really just 2 healers unless you're counting Constance. Here comes a slam. I'm going to save this for the end here. We should get the Wood Elf in a second. Pharisee's ready. Perfect. All right. Trigger, 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 trigger. Trigger. Let's go with Pharisee just in case. Nice, we got it. Button. Boom. Coming up on 170 now. Let's get a little cleanse. I wish I knew what the PR on this account was. It'd be pretty fun to get it, but I'm not sure. Now I'm gonna get a little quiet. Now this, you know, we're on what, rotation 6. This is gonna start getting pretty hard. You're gonna Zim. Perfect. Oh, Lyra didn't go. I don't. This is crazy. It's crazy. I'm telling you, I'm double clicking. I've done this literally probably 1 million times. I've double clicked on quick as. I don't know why Lyra didn't go there. Might as well wait now. There, she's got 2, and Constance is going. Good. Again, TBD how much she helps Soul Cadence. Soul Cadence is a selfish boy. We all know that. Let's 1x this really quick. This is going to be tight. What I want to do, I want Constance before Praise runs out. Perfect. We might actually wait. No, we don't need to save. I was going to say we could save Praise for stuns. We obviously, ooh, I meant to click Nazim and I clicked Pharisee. That's kind of tragic. Phineas though, perfect. No Aurum, but we'll live. All right, we're tearing through this now. I actually probably should have sat. I didn't realize we were doing this much damage. Holy crap. All right, we probably left about 2K on the table right there. Maybe 1.5. Let's try to be optimistic. Let's say 1.5. We are going to wait for Constance. Alistair, I never wait. I don't care. It's getting serious now, though. Getting serious. Should have waited for Phineas, and I didn't, but that's life. That's life, baby. All right, let's see. If we really focus on the damage here, I'm curious what we can put out. There's Phineas after Soul Kittens went. Looking really good so far. For Elwyn for some healing right now. There's the boom. Orm's getting shellacked, but he's doing okay. Let's see. Should we wait for Constance here? You can see how out of cycle she is with these low, quick, bursty guys. These quick to ult guys. We will wait because the damage is looking good. You can see we're going to be, you know, we'll have a lot more time left than the 1.5. Let's get the Wood Elf down. We're going to have to go for a strip here. So let's go like this. Nice. Again, I missed Phineas, but that's life. Praise button. All right, cruising now. Cruising. Yeah, when we time out that blast, we're kind of amazing. There. So when he does those big slams in between, that's when we should be using Pharisee with this comp. Once he gets another buff up, we'll go for the strip. We might not even need to because the damage is so good right now. No, we'll do it now. So Lyra's going to miss out on some DPS here, but we're going to get that strip off. Now we can be confident. All right, wait for it. What else? Now we can... We actually can get Lyra going, which is great. Let's get that Praetus button. Boom. Coming up on 200K. I'm assuming the PB here is somewhere in like the mid 200s. That's what I'm going to guess. So it's a pipe dream, but if we could get 300, that'd be pretty exciting. I'd be pretty amped up about that. We're going to have to be very, very tight on all our element cleanses. Nice. Ooh, that is hitting hard. That is hitting very hard. Let's line everything up with Constance. Let's not be impatient. Still gotta wait for Phineas. Guy takes forever. He's the slowpoke of the bunch. That should work though. Nice. Let's get the Wood Elf down. Get ready with Pharisee. Ooh, Praetus button. Tons of damage. Just past 200. There's Pharisee. Doing good. Look at this healing. Get ready with that Eloin cleanse. Let's 1x this. Up and let's cleanse. Ooh, very tight. Oh my god, we almost just died with Nazim. That was crazy tight. So I definitely 300k is not in our future, baby. But we'll keep going. We'll do our best here. Holy crap. we're really going to have to focus. No longer are we going to do in-betweens now. We're really going to save our damage to blast at the beginning of each phase, if that makes sense, to knock a chunk off, because that was way too close. We can't wait for Phineas. He takes too long. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We had both orbs up, both rifts up. That's great. Let's get a double with Kratos. It's on 1x. Now we can go with Phineas. Kind of a waste of Pharisee. I should have done Pharisee right after Constance finished. So there's too much overlap there since Constance's inspiration is always going to trump Pharisees. Let's go for the cleanse with Eloin. This is tight. We'll just wait for Constance. I don't think we have a choice. Phineas is out of cycle with us. We just have to deal with that. You guys saw that. I definitely just double-clicked Constance and it did not work. This is getting old fast. Get 3 little stuns from Kratos while we deal a ton of DPS. All right, let's save Phineas and Aurum and everything. Let's do another lineup here. Get it all going good. I'll do a little check-in on the overall stats. We passed 500 million with Soul Cadens and Praetus. You can see Lyra's just behind Alistair. Pretty nice, though. This isn't A1 Alistair we're talking about. Right, everyone's looking good here. Phineas is not going again. See, I clicked Phineas before Soul Cadens. He got locked out. There's a lot of wackiness happening right now. I'm gonna keep complaining about it. It's driving me insane. Like, how did he get logged out if I clicked him before? They're saying I didn't click. I'm saying they're wrong. That's what I'm saying. All right, we can coast to the end now here. Just past 220k. I'm very nervous about the poison phase, if I'm being honest. That's the one that's giving us the most trouble by a mile. So we need to save as much burst at the end of the Aegis phase that we don't use at the end of the Aegis or in the in-between. We save it for the very start of the poison phase, and I'll show you guys that now. We're gonna do the same thing now. We're not gonna do any in-between burst. It doesn't matter. I wanna make sure we're perfect on the Aegis. Looking good. Trigger, trigger, trigger. Constance, Phineas, Soul Cadens, Lyra. Lyra had 2 things. That's perfect. Let's even do Nazim. Let's triple up the button. You can see we're going to start with a huge lead because we saved that all for the beginning. So we've already got 20k in the bag with 2 minutes 45 left. This should give us a lot of time to manage the end of this round because it's the start of the next round of the poison round that I'm so worried about. A strip there. What else? I'm gonna wait for Soul Cadens and Lyra for a second with Phineas. Still very good on damage. We'll wait for everybody. Let's go with Eloin for some heals. Throw us on 1x. Alright, trigger with Praetus and Aurum. Now we can go Phineas, Constance, Soul Cadens, Lyra. Lyra has 2, so will she get the strip? She should get the strip right there. Perfect. Right as the second one went up there too. Perfect, perfect. The damage is amazing. We really tear through the Aegis phase. You can see Lyra's a very reliable dispeller. Stripper, if you will. Very reliable. So she completely has proven herself in that respect, in case anyone was worried. And now we're going to coast to the end. We only have 15% left. We're just going to use Lyra for the dispels when we need to. We're going to focus with our healers, like as I do now, and we want to save all these ults for the in-between. Ideally, even saving Lyra too, if we can. Like, we can do Praetus here on the next heal. That will give us a little inspiration boost. We got 1 minute to kill 8%, 7%. We should be good. Let's go with Pharisee there. Nice. So you'll see what I mean in a second. We want to save all the in-betweens. So here we go. We're good. We're good. Let's get the Wood Elf just to be safe with that point whatever percent. Okay, so this is what I like to do. The head goes up once, the head goes up twice. When it starts going up the 3rd time, that means showtime. Get all this burst right at the beginning, right as it goes up. So we're gonna start with a huge lead here, huge lead. Wait for that Soul Cadens burst. Phenomenal, already sub 80%. So we're already a quarter of the way done with 14 seconds off the clock. That is great. Because yeah, we're clearly getting punished by this poison round. cleanse with Elwyn. Yeah, the beginning part's not too hard. Just line everything up again for the big burst with our infernals. We're gonna go a little early on the Wood Elf here so she can come back around faster. So once this guy's at like the peak, we're already gonna place the Wood Elf. We gotta wait for frickin' Slowpoke over here. All right, perfect. Come on, buddy. God, Lord Phineas takes forever. Oh, Pharisee. Nice. Nice. Look at that. Barely took any damage. It's element time. We're doing great. We're doing great. Ooh. Oh my god, that's a close call. Much better than last time, though, at least. Should be able to coast the end now with a lot of DPS. We still have a Pharisee inspiration to come. We still have the Wood Elf coming back. I think we can make it. We might even be able to do an in-between burst. Where's my Wood Elf? Where's my Wood Elf? There we go. Wood Elf. So it was definitely nice to put the Wood Elf a little early. That made it a little less sweaty. And let's already line this stuff up. Pharisee just in case. Perfect. Could have waited for Phineas. Can I get Phineas off? Don't get locked out. Phineas, go. And he's locked out. Dang. So it really has to be, it's more like that 2 o'clock. If you think of Soulkins as a clock here, you got to trigger your other guys before he's here or more. Too bad. Just past 250k. This is definitely going to turn into a long ass video. Let's go for a cleanse. Nice burst in between though. Seems like he's not hitting us that hard. We can really control these stun phases. So we don't have to stress out about it too much. We're not waiting for Phineas right now. I don't have the patience for that guy. So just one orb there, unfortunately. Ooh, let's get Nazim to go. Here comes Alistair. One more trigger with Kratos. Good. Yeah, we're tearing. The damage is still, you can just see. And I'm telling you, none of this would be happening if we didn't have this permanent uptime on the magic res break. This magic res reduction is just, we're still this late into the battle. What? Did I just press quit? Holy shit, I just pressed quit. Oh, crap. Oh my god! We're still this late in the battle doing so much frickin'. Oh, see you guys in a second. Alright, I realize Nazim has more HP than Lyra. Lyra should be the one double covered by healers, not Nazim. So I'm going to change the initial deploy. Then we'll speed up super fast back to where we left off. Holy crap, holy. Alright, so we'll re-enter. Lyra can go here now. I actually find Lyra, you need the backwards view of her, not just for jokes reasons, but it's so much easier to see the 2 cosmic rifts. So she can go here, Nazim can go there, and then we can do the rest pretty similar. We'll put Phineas here, Constance there, Kratos here, Pharisee here. So that covers our Invigs. Then Alistair can go back where Nazim was, and then we'll wait for this summon, the Shadow Guard to go away from the Wailing Skull. Now Aurum Ghost. All right, see you guys in a bit. It is worth noting Alistair's not in Constance range now, but I think the trade-off's going to be fine because, yeah, quite frankly, all his damage by the end is just coming from Radiant Erosion. I think we're A-okay. All right, here we are right where I accidentally X'd out before. This thing is fickle, man. I actually failed 3 times getting back this far just because of little mistakes, such as right now. Like, I'm like, oh, I cleared the poison phase, but then I forget to do Eloin. Semra fatigue is definitely a real thing because when you do these long runs, they take like half an hour. So it's pretty gruesome going through it over and over, trying to stay focused. Maybe gruesome isn't the word, but it's a cumbersome experience to say the least. But yeah, let's navigate through this. There's a couple little things I realized that I can point out with Lyra, particularly with her Dispel. As long as you start her Dispel once the counter is started on the Aegis mode, it will always work. And whenever you start her ult, however many rifts she has, those will stay. Because the quantity of rifts is super, I don't know. It's very hard to track because you never know when they're about to expire. Quite frustrating. So I've got a little trick here for the healing as well, kind of doubling up with Eloin into Faircy to make sure we don't fail that way. This will be my last run regardless, so let's really focus up here. I've been filming for a long time, like over 2 hours, long time. Let's line everything up here for a really big blast. Waiting for Phineas. I'll show you my little trick. Not so clever, but basically he comes up, then we'll Wood Elf, and right away we Eloin. Phineas is ready. Let me get this really fast. Down the line, we got the double with Lyra. Oh, the double fell off right when, and then when he goes laser mode, we do Faircy. Oh, I forgot to do, and Constance didn't trigger. So many of these little things. Sometimes maybe I'm making mistakes. Other times I think it's just insane. But it's fine. Plenty DPS. We're okay. We're also going to try a new thing this time. We're exactly where we failed last time, right about the 260s. After each Saw round now, I'll start picking up Faircy because we really only need him for that. And there's only so many rounds left before we're just going to fail naturally. So it's not like we're ever have to worry about his deploy time getting too high that we couldn't cycle him back. All right, so let's wait. Waiting for Phineas. Okay, let's go with the Eloin mode. We might even hold here because we're looking pretty good. Let's get ready with Faircy. See there, we still lose Lyra anyway. That happened once before. There's just not much we can control about it unless we just built more HP on her. I would say I actually, even though I did change Hawks' build because I kind of wanted to show off her DPS, and she is doing a nice job. So you can kind of see this is like triple S tier damage. This is more like S tier. We don't need it when we have frickin' Phineas, we have Phineas, Soul Cadence, and Kratos all together, all at least A3. So looking back, Hawkes was dead on to build her with more HP. That's not the first time that's happened to me, unfortunately. We'll let it go, though. We should be pretty good here just to make it through. I want to save all this burst for the next, but you can see there's only so much time left. Let's wait. We are going to make it. And the longer this round takes, the more ready I'll be for Lyra to come back sooner for when we really need her. All right, we're fine there. See, that time, they not even a scratch. So let's wait here. So head up. 1, 2. Wait for it. All right, trigger, trigger, trigger. Boom. We can get Lyra back down. Definitely switching Lyra and Nazim is the right call. And I also wanted to point out to you guys, Alistar and Lyra, they're basically spot on with the damage with Alistar just ahead. That was the same with Alistar in range of Constance or not. It's that dramatic, at least with the build, the spammer build on Alistar. It's that dramatic. I mean, there's still DPS. I'll show you. The Alistar build's still really good, but it's that dramatic how heavy a proportion of the damage he does comes just from Radiant Erosion, which isn't based off of any of his own stuff, right? Kind of crazy. All right, we're going to actually have to start getting some good stuff here. Lyra, officially to me, is just a Dispeller now, so we'll wait for 2 Aegis stacks. We're also going to wait on Faircy. Praetus we can spam really quick. He comes back so fast when you have A1 Praetus. Very, very crazy. Here comes the slam. Boom. Crazy. Orum's getting shellacked. This is our highest score now, officially. We can go with Alistar. All right, trigger. Here comes the Aegis. We got 2 orbs there, 2 rifts. Perfect. Wood Elf ready. Can Praetus get this with Constance? It's going to be very tight. Let's see. Just made it. Triple. Nice. can see the damage is brilliant. So definitely we could go tankier on Lyra, because yeah, we're not gonna fail because of DPS. I'll tell you, we're gonna fail because of lack of healing and unlucky RNG kind of moments. There's Pharisee, good save. Orum's still up. Got to time this out. We want to do a burst now, but we want to make sure we have everything ready for the start of the poison rounds, because that's where things are really tough for us. Get a little strip there with Lyra right before they go. You see, we just got it off. That's perfect. Trigger with Praetus there. Let's get Elwyn going and the Wood Elf. All right, we're looking good here. I think 300k is in our future. I will tell you, I went in between runs because we failed. I was like, let me check Hawkus' best score. It is 327k. So it's still going to take a lot to beat that. Late with Pharisee. Are we okay? We just made it. Oh my god. That was too close for comfort. All right, we're going to take this down. I don't need to do any more ults. Let's let this go. Just in case, we'll drop the Wood Elf. All right, we're good. 1, 2. Get ready for 3. See there, I definitely double-clicked Praetus. Maybe it's my mouse. I don't know. I'm going insane. Can you tell? I'll tell you, I also found we can be even more aggressive with Elwyn. Normally I do it when the arm goes back at the peak is when I click it. Even when the arm's like right here, like just rising up, maybe it goes a third of the way up, you can already click it. So that's given us a little breathing room. All right, this is, if we're gonna fail, it's gonna be here. So let's get ready. Gotta time all this out perfect. Let's 1x this. Let's get ready with the Wood Elf. Have to wait for Constance. Our DPSers really makes that much of a difference. It's kind of crazy. Right, here she is. We're not going to wait for Phineas, though. I should have picked up Nazim, like I said, and I didn't. I hope he doesn't die right here. Now, he held on nicely. Not over yet, though. We're not out of the woods. Still got to get this Elwyn cleanse. Let's get Phineas going. Might as well go with Nazim, too. Looking not great for Orym. You can see we can already trigger there. It's going to be really tight. Oh, we dropped. All right, Alistair, we can... I was going to say we can live with. We kind of can't, though, because Alistair is... he's our defense damage down. He's placing that debuff, so that's not great. We might get just destroyed right here, and we did. Well, there we go. Just less than 300k. It is so fickle. I would say there's so much damage in this comp that we can go even tankier on Alistair, tankier on Lyra, like I said. Still a pretty nice Lyra showcase to show her with 371 mil damage or whatever. We'll keep going just in case. I guess we never know. We kind of know, though. Yeah, this thing is falling apart, and there it goes. Down goes Constance. All right, 295k. Pretty dang good run. I'll be honest, I don't usually do runs this high. I've only done it a couple times. This is a big learning experience for me for basically when you're on the super end game, you know, trying to triple the 120k chest or something. It really does come down to you need like a couple DPSers, some other really nice units, and then really focusing on your tankiness and your support. I will say this is something that goes really nicely with Nightmare and why they're so good, because you're using a lot more melee units, which naturally those fighters have a lot more HP than these mages. And certainly if you use Piercer team than those marksmen. I'm not going to save that for him. Maybe I will in case he wants it. Who knows? Because he didn't have a Lyra one saved. But you can see coming in, Praetus at 756 million, Soul Caden 714, Phineas, A3 Phineas is a crazy thing, 687, really good for this. Then Lyra and Alistair, very good DPS, but not this top tier. Granted, a lot of the DPS is getting stolen by these guys, but she's so good at dispelling. It's crazy. Synergizes really well. Her ult comes back really fast. You could definitely build a comp around her with her as like a lead or your second DPS. But because of Soul Cadence, he's just soaking everything else up. She fits really nicely into this kind of other role. There you go. Kind of incredible how little damage these guys do at the bottom, but it is what it is. Let's complete that. So Hawkus has his run for the day, or for the week, I should say. And there we have it, guys. That is Lyra. I'm sure this video ended up being really long. Basically, I hope if you didn't want to watch the whole showcase, you didn't. You absolutely didn't have to. I'm sure that's the top score of the week so far. Yes, it is for our guild. How's he ranking over here? 16th in the world. We'll take it. Certainly we could push higher. Maybe I'll do that for him sometime. I learned a lot about how I'd rebuild this. I'm not upset we changed the Lyra build, but it's good that we did. Because I'm not upset we did it because it showed off her DPS a little bit better. But in hindsight, if we wanted to push a higher number, we should not have done that. So living and learning here in the realm. I want to take a very quick peek at Alistair's gear. Like I said, you can see like this is an okay build. There's like no crit damage really, but all of his damage basically is coming from radiant erosion. Crazy stuff. Let's get one last peek at that. I don't know. For some reason, I want to see that skin. There we go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the guide and the breakdown at the beginning, and certainly that you enjoyed the very long showcase. That is Lyra. She's a freak. Total top tier unit for what she does, which is destroy these bosses. Remember, if you want to participate in the giveaway, please write what hero you want to get the Lyra skin treatment next, and maybe an explanation on why it should be Praetus or Gluttony. I don't know. That's so nasty. Yeah, write that in the comments. You can take it seriously or not. And then please be at the Christmas stream tomorrow when we actually do the giveaway. And the giveaway will be, you have to have Lyra to participate. I'll do a Lyra showcase live on stream on your account, push a little content for you guys. Thank you. Subscribe, share with your mother. I've been Fastidious, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.